Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Surrounded Duel between Pave playing as second UK, going up against PiyRe playing as second Soviet. So we'll go through the deck reviews and we'll talk about the match of the deployments in the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for PiyRe, and he's playing 2Y. I do have a deck pro guide for 2Y. It's 1 3/4 of an hour long. So, so if you want an extremely comprehensive deck review, I suggest checking that out. There's a couple things here that I would change. First things first, you want the potok, so you can buy two at the start. Get some nice cheap CVs out, right? So, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Buy two of these at the start, it's good stuff. So, yeah, just get rid of one of these. I've been playing 56Y recently, and I like the Chaika, but, yeah. And then you might want a tank CV, right? Like, this is actually a really nice piece of kit because of the 200 points. What I'm trying very hard to do is to not say the opposite of what I said in my pro deck build guide. But yeah, you know, I think you should get one of these, and you can you can swap out some of this if you want. The div wants to go late, so you can go 3 cards of supply if you want. But I run 2, and I was running the Belazor instead of the Chaika in the Epic Pro Guide, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can bring whichever one you want. Yeah, so that's 7 CVs, which is fine. 2 vet in these can work just because you don't actually need a huge number of tanks. Obviously, if you need more tanks, you know where to find them. Yeah, Conkers is good. In terms of the infantry, yes, the SVD, the Metis, Saperi RPO, grenade launcher, Conkers. So the BMPs, I bring 2 cards at 2 vet, but then I bring both cards as sappers. So, I mean, you can do it this way if you want. It's fine. Yeah, artillery, I bring the upvetted Acacias and then mortars for smoke. Just keep in mind that if you get rid of this and downvet that, you get 2 more AP, which you could put somewhere. I don't know about this. I think the way I did it was I run the Mot Razvedka in the rocket one, so I've got some rocket helos. This is really slow, and it's only got 4 HP, so I just don't recommend it at all. What I like to do on this div, because yeah, you can run it in the rocket helos, but for a better early game, you can run it in the BMP 1P, because then your early game isn't as weak, because you've got these everywhere. What I like to do is, instead of one of these Recon Infantry cards, I run the MI-24K instead of the Razvedka Saperi, and then I also run the SU-25AT, and you open with this, the SU-25AT, and the Recon Helo, and you mess people up. That's in the Pro Guide if you want to check it out. It's public access and everything. But yeah, in terms of like the info, because you've got 3 cards of you know, infantry, so you might as well one pet them all. But yeah, like you could get a bunch of rocket helos, given that you've already got some infantry here, and you know this comes in the BMP 1P, so you can get those out early. Right, it's up to you. Tanks we spoke about. AA, I'd up vet that, and then like, do you need? So, okay, 6 Osas I get, but do you need the Breuser as well? Like, you could bring this and mess people up with... Because this is anti-helo, right? And what is this? This is also anti-helo. I admit it assists the Osa, but you can get some kills that way. But you've got 6 Osas, right? What about 5 Osas? And then this thing for the anti-infantry, still very good at that. Helis, you don't need that many helis anymore, because you've got You got 6 of these, right? Um, but yeah, you don't have to do it that way, right? So like you could bring this in the BMP 1P, and then you could get rid of this one, and then you could bring these, which are actually kind of broken, or you could bring the funny helo for the start with the recon, and you open with this and the jet. And, you know, I obviously like the SU-25, but you don't have to bring that. Because, yeah, this is a 3-point slot. So if you get rid of your indigestion, you could get the SU-25, but you know, and then because like I've got the OSAs at no vet because I think it's worth losing accuracy on the AA to bring the SU-25 for the opener with the funny recon helo, but you don't have to do it that way. You can have the high accuracy AA if you want. And yeah, you want the HE, the cluster, the good MiG, the slightly less good but still pretty good. Like for the price, this thing is incredible. It's actually insane. So if you look at so the MiG-23P, and then you compare it to the Phantom, same price, same ECM. The one on the right is faster, it has a gun, the missiles go further, and it's got more accuracy on said missiles because that's done as a function of max range, and they cost the same. The Phantom F3 should basically be cheaper. It should just not be the same. It's like, yeah, but it's got more missiles. So, I'd rather have the gun. You can kill a helicopter in one pass, right? Admittedly, the Sidewinders on the Phantom are better. Much rather have the one on the right. This used to be 3 availability, but alas. And if you get a gun, it costs 10 points more, apparently. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Anyway, his opponent is playing second UK, which, whoa, here we are with the Phantoms. Crazy, right? This is probably my favourite div of all time. Well, is it? I play every div, so maybe not. I try not to have favourites. It's like choosing between your children. Put these at 1 vet. You can't afford to run out of Warrior Milans. You only get 12 at 1 vet. So, where's your... Like, what is going on here, man? Where's your rocket lynxes? Where are your rocket lynxes? 2, 4. Don't update your ATGMs, basically, ever. You don't need all this arty. This just isn't what the division's about. And you'd run out anyway with only 2 cards of supply. And now you can bring your rocket lynxes, right? So you can bring whichever one you want. They cost the same, but this is better against vehicles, this is better against infantry. You've already got the one that's better against vehicles, so you might as well get the one that's better against infantry. And I find that sometimes I run out, so I wouldn't be upvetting everything. Especially if you've got the CV infantry, 6 guys smoke, AT, 8 guys no AT, 8 guys no AT. 6 guys, AT, but no smoke. Yes, this is the best one. Yeah, and you can't really bring these because they don't come vetted, and they have a terrible loadout for running up to people. You want 5.56 really, because they're better at running and shooting. You can do it like this if you want, right? I think that's how I do it with the heavy arty. Yeah, there used to be 2 cards of challengers, but it was broken, so that's how it was nerfed. And now you've got, you know, 101st US, which just does the same thing. The upvet is not unnecessary. So you've got the sniper and the scouts, right? Okay, don't upvet this. It's a small squad. It doesn't need to be upvetted. You want these guys. They're really good. So take your pick. I like scouts, air mobile scouts, right? The sniper can work, gives you nice vision and so on. But yeah, the air mobile, like if you're fighting in a town, because you don't have good satchels, you bring the air mobile pioneers and the air mobile scouts because they've got 4 machine guns. They actually really shred in infantry fights. They have to be stood still to use 2 of them, though. Just keep that in mind. And then, why do you want this one? Get the one with more range and more accuracy. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have like 2 cards of max vetted javelins. 2 vetted javelins instead of the trap rapier and the javelin. You could do whichever way you want. Like, I appreciate that if you vet this once, the accuracy's not too bad, but the accuracy's done off the range, so... And it being radar helps as well. It means it tracks it further outside of the range, unless it's on a move order. I should really do a video about that. There you go. Yeah, I don't really believe in this sort of Harrier focus thing, but you can do it if you want. I prefer, like, 6 more Rover Milans and more Foxes. But there's no reason you can't build it like this. It's just, basically, this is useless against vehicles, so if you want to harry a game, you should bring this, because this will actually kill a 2 top armor heavy tank. But this one's way better, so I'd probably, if you want to go air spam, I'd probably do that, because chances are, if the first 3 harriers get shot down, the next 3 aren't going to do any better. So, let's cast the game. Right, so with that out of the way, there are things I'd change with both decks. I think the second UK player's doing it a bit wrong, not bringing the Lynx rockets. It's sort of the whole point of the division. So, in terms of the matchup, most people would say it's too Y favoured. I don't agree with that at all, because I've played a lot of second UK, and the idea is it's a very mobile division. It is an air mobile division, and so if you're the second UK player, you've got forward deployment, your enemy doesn't. You can set up in mid, you can set up here, you can take most of Anna, you can send Foxes, 1 on each side, around the sides, and snipe all of the AA, and then you just start shooting smoke everywhere. The enemy never gets time to build up. All his T-72s get side-shotted by air mobiles, use Lynx rockets to pick off the stragglers, and you can win the game inside of 20 minutes. And I've done that against some very good players. But it's not really what he's doing, is it? Oh no, I suppose it kind of is. Looking at the deployments. But yeah, in terms of 2Y, what he wants to do is not die, right? As long as he can hold Elena and Anna, because Anna's basically your zone on this side, and Gregory's blue zone on this side. You know, give up the mid, hold Anna, hold Elena, hold Boris, get your AA net set up, buy a bunch of tanks, and just slowly build up all the tanks. The bombers will come in, it'll kill a tank. There's a big controversy taking place within the community about this currently, but sadly, because of how long it takes these videos to go from, you know, members early access into public access, you won't get what I'm on about, so I might as well just show you. I might as well just show you. And so this is r/Warno. So Sneaky is one of the best Warno players, right? And he basically he uploaded a video. There were 3. Where's the? I suppose I should sort by new. Saying that bombers are kind of dumb, and these are 2 videos. I just missed it. I've upvoted them, but they get downvoted. Basically, the bomber always gets through, right? More or less always, especially the 2Y bombers, but the bomber always gets through, and the idea is you revenge kill the bomber, right? And you get more tanks than he gets bombers. That's just kind of how the game works. And he's trying to point this out to people, and he's getting more and more angry about it. But anyway, I tried to explain to him that this is an argument you cannot win, but you know, let him find out for himself, I suppose. So the idea is, yeah, you set up with your Rosas. If you've got Cubs, you might be able to intercept the bomber, right? But generally, the bomber will just kill your tank, and it's just you just got to make sure the bomber dies, and then eventually, you know, you just keep grinding, and eventually you should win the late game. And that's why a lot of people say that 2Y is OP. Admittedly, the price of its tanks have gone up a little bit, but it's just because at the kind of lower level, and you know, I'm not like, oh, I'm just so much better than you, but it's just a fact of every strategy game, every real-time strategy game at the lower level. Sit on your arse gameplay tends to be better because attacking's always harder than defending, right? Because it's just a symptom of life. The enemy doesn't have to click, you have to click, right? You get caught out in the open, you get side-shotted, and so on. And so at the lower level, divs that are slow tend to be better because well, you just sit there 40 minutes and then you win, right? This is a div that is fast. Anyway, looking at the deployments, we got a fox going around the side. That's good. You should attempt to, you know, you can sit here if you want and try and take Anna, and then once that's sorted, you can come around to here, shoot stuff as they come down this road, try and get around the back and kill all the Osas. Now, you upvets his foxes, though, which I don't really agree with, because you lose half of them. Now, admittedly, the autocannon at no vet, not very good, but... So, yeah, double air mobile here, going on the exact same spot, not smart. You want a hell arm and an air mobile, and a recon helo. Phantom to protect the air mobiles, so that's all good. These are crossing over, so they're not going to get there as fast. And then, yeah, we've got SAS coming in. Your enemy doesn't get airborne forward deployment. Like, look at this road. So, yeah, he's gone for the church, which is good. The other one, yeah, it can go there if you want. But you'd want it on this road. Sniper going very far up. We got 2 javelins. The air mobile, of course, dropping in. Saxon. Arm rifles at 2 there, which... SAS... Because, yeah, you only get 2 cards of these, so you don't want them at 2 vet. You want all 12, really. Switching to his opponent, we got a slow div attacking aggressively into the enemy with 3 Razvedka BMP 1Ps and a Breusa. And then we've got, this has been given a shoot order instead of a move order. It's going to be a long game. So he's not going to use the road. He's going to slowly walk over there and try and shoot this building. Hopefully he notices. Yeah, and then this is a conservative deployment, which is sensible. Conservative deployment, which is sensible. Same with this. Belazar Jeep for Anna Boris. And yeah, two more Razvedka BMP ones for Anna Boris. And we got some more Breusers. You want an Osa, really. Because it's got more range, right? And you can mix an Osa with a Breuser if you want. But you don't want 3 Breusers. You want one that at least one that has more range, right? They complement each other. I don't bring the Breuser at all. I just bring 5 Osas and then save 3 AP so I can bring an SU-25. 30 mil, some Gvardetsi BMP, and yes, of course, a Breuser. So let's cast the game. Alright, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joining the channel, they're the ones keeping me in house and home. Over 3/4 of channel revenue comes from the generous channel joiners. Ad revenue on YouTube's basically hilariously low, especially given that this is a niche game. So yeah, thank you. They get the videos early, they get Mems exclusive videos, they get a Steam key for my game, Hearse Hero. If you want to support the channel for free, you can like, comment, subscribe, the usual stuff. And you can also wishlist my game on Steam, Hearse Hero. I might have mentioned it. There's a free demo out which you can play. And yeah, that works exactly like YouTube does, where the more you engage, right? So on YouTube it's commenting, subscribing, etc., liking. On Steam it's wishlists. The more wishlists you get, the more wishlists you will get. The more it gets shown off to people, right? It's sad, but I mean, it makes sense from the business's perspective. Chances are something successful would be successful. You know, they want to show off things that are popular, right? Because it's probably popular for a reason. So, really good opener from Red, right? And you might be like, well, he's lost his whole middle zone. No, well, he's the slower div. The fact that he hasn't lost all this is good. Buying the bomber immediately against SAS, probably not a good idea, but the enemy fighter was completely out of position, so looks like he's gonna make it. You can smoke this so it doesn't... yeah, okay. Yeah, don't drive your CV into the enemy. Sun Tzu top tip. Do not drive your Belazar Jeep into the air mobile. So, anyway, in the deck review we were talking about bringing the Potox And this is a great example of where the Potox would be useful, because he would have a because two of those cost the same as that Belisar. One goes Boris Anna, the other one goes Fedor. Is that Elena Gregory, right? Because this is actually getting somewhere. Otherwise, you just hang it around here and wait until you can put it in mid. And that costs the same as one Belisar. So yes, even though the Belisar is faster, it's not actually that much faster. 100 kilometers an hour versus 75 on the Potok. So something to think about. The cheaper CVs are just better. But once again, that relies on the idea of, oh, I can attack later, as opposed to playing for the early game. So, yeah, going really well for Red so far. I know it looks like he's losing because he's on a -3. But he's about to get this zone. Admittedly, the composition is very strange. Like, there should be like a, instead of 3 of these, right, you get 1 of these. So that's 2 units. And then 1 Metis, one Conkers or something. Or, 2 of these and a Metis infantry wheeled thing. Just because, like, admittedly, these have ATGMs on them, but it's about trying to get some combined arms out there, because, like, you would want an ATGM thing. Like, you've got the AA, you've got the infantry, you've got the recon. That's a big part of why IFVs are so good. It's because it's, like, free combined arms. You don't have to think too much about it, because this is anti-infantry, sort of, right? Obviously, an autocannon one would be a bit more anti-infantry. Anti-tank, and it comes with an infantry, in this case, a recon infantry, right? So it's a potent combination, and the fact that this is 45 points, right, that's a 90-point combination. It's actually really, really strong. NATO doesn't have anything like this. It's one of the packed advantages in the game. NATO does have some advantages, mainly visible in 1v1 and at the higher level of play. Generally, the NATO divisions are faster, which brings us back to our original point about how at the higher level, faster divs do better. Whereas at the lower level, like at the lowest level, it's just airborne, because if you get there first, you just sit there for 40 minutes and win. The enemy doesn't know how to attack. These do have smoke. Is he not gonna... Maybe he's already used them. Has he considered not driving towards the enemy that's shooting at... There you go. Because, yeah, he could have hidden behind here as well. Looks like the Bruiser's going to take him out. And, yeah, so blue on the +2, that's fine at this stage of the game if you're 2Y. The whole point is you're playing for the late game, you just need to make sure you don't die too much, you're killing the enemy planes, and he's only on a +1. So, and you need to learn to not freak out about this. So yes, killing this Harrier would be big. Admittedly, he has 6 of them for some reason. So yeah, you can evac that if you want. I wouldn't have evac that. I would have just shift queued it back here a bunch of times, because he might buy another plane, and this is going to be refueling now. Admittedly, he might not buy another plane, and at some point it's going to have to go back. And the longer it's out, the longer it'll take to regenerate, so... But yeah, he needs an OSA here, really, because, like, let's say he buys a cluster bomber, it's going to get through. The Bruiser can never stop that. The OSA might stop it before it drops the bombs. Usually it won't. You need a cub. It's just the way the game works. It's a bit weird. You might say it's unrealistic. I don't know if it is, really. The bomber always gets through, as it is from World War II. That was the idea. Although they did overestimate the effect of bombardment and so on. So yeah, like in this situation, you want the Gvardetsi SVD, because they come with SVDs, and that mega suppresses the enemy, does a lot of damage. You can tell what Blue's going for, though. He's going for the early game play, because he's 2-vetted everything. 1 or 2-vetted everything, including like his ATGMs and stuff, which you don't really want to vet. Because they die easy, so the 5% accuracy is usually not worth it. But if you're going for a very aggressive strategy, it can work. But yeah, all Red has to do is just not feed. Presumably I don't have to explain to you what that means, right? Don't feed your units into the enemy and lose them. And the later the game goes, the more it's going to be in his favour. and that is it's very frustrating to. Oh, I was going to say that's a good side shot, but he's missing a lot. But yeah, that's a really good because the auto targeting is like, well, which way do I face? And you know, he should have just smoked and reversed really. So yeah, what I'd recommend is buy an AT-72 for mid. Um, Admittedly, yeah, you fight on the flanks and so on. Like, there's nothing wrong with what he's doing here. So yes, this. Ah, yeah, he's got the MiG out. So is this another one, or is this the one from before? And as you can see, it killed the tank, and now it's dead, right? And losing the MiG-29 is not great. What the fuck? Yeah, well, you can, in a pinch, you can do that. Just make sure... Oh, it's curving the wrong way. Yeah, you press this and it curves this way instead of that way. You gotta micro that a little bit because it's flying over all the AA, which thankfully missed it because his opponent doesn't bring the FSB, brings the FSA for some reason. And he lost all his SAS. I think he can buy 3 or 4 more, actually, but he lost the SAS he had on the field. So, yeah, the idea is you get more tanks than he gets bombers, and the tanks are cheaper than the bombers are. And to somebody who doesn't play the game a lot, that might seem kind of ridiculous. But if you've been playing for a while, it just seems natural, even though it probably isn't. It is kind of dumb gameplay, and like 2Y is actually very good at that because it gets the MiG-21 cluster plane, which is the ultimate epitome of the bomber always gets through. It's a high-speed, 10% ECM, one-shot kill cluster plane that you basically can't dodge because it's a dive bomber. And it always gets through, and you just have to kill them all, right? Katsia doing good work there. You could put the Belazor next to it to buff it up, because it's not doing anything here. Although, wow, it just gave this guy 5% more accuracy by being near him. That's why he's still missing. But yeah, he needs some, like, get a Conkers in here, get a couple Metis in here. It's looking a bit one-dimensional, really. But, he's taken this side, right? Mostly. So, looking good. He doesn't have any recon helos. So, honestly, I think this will win. Because this has, yeah, exactly. But yeah, Blue, he's trying to counterattack here. He's making some progress. It's just weird to not see the rocket lynxes. Admittedly, I assume PiyRe was expecting those, and that's why he brought the Briusas, because they're better against helos than this. It's got more range. But if you're against like a swarm of helos, you want the thing that fires loads of bullets, because it just immediately stuns them up. Whereas if the missile misses, the helo can just kill the AA launcher, which is life, I suppose. So, looking good on the right, he's getting in there. He really needs to buy an OSA, right? And the other thing is, if you send a helo out, you need a plane or AA with it, preferably a plane, because this is always going to happen. Every single time. Until you learn your lesson, right? And in the same vein that you revenge kill planes, suiciding a plane to kill a helicopter is always... to kill an attack helicopter is always a good deal in this game. Because they come at 1 per card and the planes come at 2 or 3 per card. So it's like the tank thing, but in reverse. So get this over to there so it doesn't get twatted by the challenger. That looks like he's not interested in... I suppose because he can't really see anything. He's not got any infantry there. This guy doesn't have the vision. So yeah, you need supply over here. Supply over here, supply over here. Some more... once you buy artillery, it should fire immediately. Because it reloads while moving. So you might as well just have right-clicked something you can see. It doesn't really matter where it is. You could just right-click back here, because T-click, whatever, because you know he's going to be back here, even though the recon isn't there. You can see all this, so you know he's not in this part. And they always put it there, so you could just shoot that and then move. Put the Belazor next to them to buff them up. Yeah, this piece of kit I think is a little overpriced. It's basically got the 203 stats, but is not 203. It's got, so it does less HE. The advantage is it's got like massive range. The dispersion's quite low. And so yeah, Blue's doing the classic Milan 1, Milan 2 hold, although he's not got MG teams. I can't remember if I bring MG teams on second UK. I might do, because I think I only bring 5 CVs, which might be a mistake, but... Get the arty on it. It's about priorities, right? Because, like, yes, air mobile, but surely you'd want to kill the tank. Looks like this guy's not going to move. He made it. So yeah, the Saxon could be put next to that. Blue needs some supply as well. This can be sold. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. This thing is just woefully overpriced. I actually just bring 8 Hell Arms now. Like, this should not be 100 points to availability. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this is another... so this is that cluster bomber I was telling you about. So the one in 6Y got nerfed, but this is just the exact same plane the way it used to be. And that one's fine. And the Polish... I think it's either the Polish one or the Czech one's fine as well. So yeah, that... I mean, they obviously need to propagate that nerf to the other ones. So yeah, I mean, you can bring this if you want. I used to be a fan of it, but I'd rather just get 2 tubes like this. The point of this div is to get there and then, you know, flood the gap with loads of crap and just buy time. And admittedly, this buys time, but it costs you a lot of points. And it's... you know, it's just a big investment. And that, like, this is 300 points. This combination is 90. So you can get 3 of these and a supply, almost, for the price of this. So you can get 6 frontline units for the price of that MLRS, which hasn't done anything yet. Imagine if there were 3 more arm rifles and 3 more warrior Milans here. He would take this zone, surely. So every time you buy artillery, you lose momentum on the front line, and so you don't want too much artillery in 1v1. In team games, you can afford to buy more because it tends to be a narrower front, so you can play a little bit greedier. Is that 2 mortars? You don't want to put them in the same place because the counter battery kills both of them. Also, they're useless for HE, 81mm. Still waiting on that RT rework. As you can see, they're not going to do anything. They're really only good for smoke, and they're very good for smoke. Because the point is, you get the air mobile in with the, you know, LOR 80s, and then you smoke it up, and then you run in and you side shot this and it blows up. In 1 hit, because that's 20 pen. It's a 6 side armor. And yeah, like, these tanks are slow, so they just never dodge that. Yeah, once you lose the SAS, like, because he doesn't have the FSBs, so it's very hard for him to deal with these clusters. He needs to buy some more SAS. But instead he bought this 300-point artillery piece, and you can just see how few units he has as a result of these purchases. Admittedly, he keeps buying these challengers as well. It's like almost 1 minute's income. And they keep dying to that cluster plane, which comes up every 60 seconds. That's what that nerf was. It was, first of all, they made it 250 kilo bombs, and then they made it all on 1 rack, so it's just the way the reloads work. Hopefully they bring out another plane and I can show you. You probably already know this, but gotta fill the void somehow. So yeah, Blue trying to get in, but, you know, he needs to just shoot, like, you've got the mortars, just shoot a bunch of smoke here, right, and then run the CV in. And there you go, now you've capped the zone, because there's not actually CV in here. Okay, so we got that CV. And yeah, this would be the perfect opportunity for a Lynx rocket, which he should have 7 of, but instead he has 0. Or Gazelle rockets, which he should have 6 of, but instead he has 0. And they would just come over here and they would just kill this. Because you just got the Bruiser with something. Looks like this guy's not going to die. Ah, interesting. I suppose he knows it's clear because of this. Yeah, okay, interesting. Rocket planes don't really work well in forests. It's one of the reasons they're cheaper than regular planes. The targeting always messes up. And yeah, the Challenger is so overpriced, it's ridiculous. It's also terrible against infantry because it's only got one MMG, whereas its opponent has a HMG and an MMG, and the HMG is very good. It's better than two MMGs. So this is like having, you know, 2.5 machine guns, so this has one. This is faster. Admittedly, this doesn't get side shot, one shot by a Conkers or a Lore 80, but if you're in Lore 80 range, the second one will just kill you, so. He didn't move his Acacias. This is a cluster plane, but it can also hurt infantry, so this will probably die. We should probably look at it. Yeah, there you go. I didn't move his Acacias. So, yeah, that's... I mean, he's still not moving them. Okay. There they go. And it's also auto-loaded, so it maintains its 8 ROF, whereas this doesn't. I believe the accuracy is higher because it's a 2-vet. Otherwise, I think this has the higher accuracy, but yeah, I mean, that's... He could have reversed, right, could have run off, but... In real life, obviously, the Challenger has won every war it's been in. The Challenger won. Challenger 2's only been in Afghanistan, I guess, which we lost. And Ukraine, which... Let's check back in later, shall we? I mean, we all know what's going to happen, but you don't want to upset people, so... So yeah, you can move this back, and then it doesn't get shot in the face by an autocannon. Incredible strategic insight, I know. But yeah, Blue, I mean, he's just completely hollowed out because he keeps buying these expensive big-ticket items and they keep dying. So... Admittedly, this has now paid for itself, but you wouldn't expect your opponent to just have the Acats... Oh, wait, why didn't he chase that? He might have killed it. Yeah. I've lost my train of thought. So... Yeah, he's not got any units. So if you're red, you know, you do try and push up, and you see, basically, you know, if you've got a heavy tank, which is basically what this is, anything 200 points and over is a heavy tank, as far as I'm concerned. You obviously get all the guys who got bullied at school going on about, oh, they're all main battle tanks. I mean, heavy armor on the tank. The whole point of language is to enable discussion, right? You don't have to contort yourself to all this nonsense just for the sake of being right. Anyway, as you can see, these don't do a whole lot. But yeah, he killed the Acacias, which is a big deal, but the way the reload works on this is it's done from when the first bit of supply reaches it. But he's in the habit, he's like these iPhone guys, right? They just buy a new one. So this ran out and he bought this. This has ran out, he'll just buy another. Oh, there it is. Not quite, but anyway. So yeah, we get to watch the sitting. I mean, Red's back to losing. He could take mid anytime he wants. He just hasn't wised up. Back to the point about the heavy tanks. The idea behind this is that you send it forwards and it can survive a few hits. And that's generally the purpose of all tanks, but you know that this is, the heavier it is, the more it is like this. So you send the recon forwards, you see this guy and you start whacking him, maybe you get hit a couple times, then you go back and repair, and that's how you get it to pay for itself. The whole point is you want your units to pay for themselves eventually. Right now, admittedly, a 35-point smoke mortar is not going to... you know, the smoke doesn't kill anybody, but the utility you get out of it is insane. So yeah, you want things to pay for themselves. You want to constantly be sort of probing the enemy. You just, like, the point of infantry as well is that it can take a few hits without dying, and it's actually really cheap. So you set the infantry forwards, it gets shot a bit, you know, maybe you come back, or you just bring up your fire support, and you just keep pushing, because this was empty, and he's just not doing anything. and so it's becoming less empty as time goes on. Which is why watching your own replays is so important, because you'll see this and you'll be like, oh, well, why didn't I just attack then? There was nobody there. Obviously, Tier 4 channel joiners can get their games cast. Rate of 1 per calendar month. I admit, that's not free, so watch your own replays at the very least. I don't believe there's any other professional coaching services. I've had a couple people try and copy me, but eventually they just sort of give up. There might be something out there that I just don't know about. So, yeah, I mean, you could have evac that. Could evac these as well. You don't have to just fly into them and die, you know. I know it might seem like you do, but I'm not sure why he evac this. He could have killed at least one more of those, but I just wanted to give him a chance. Once it gets to fully red, it will auto evac, but those were bombers. He just got spooked. Anyway, blue's still on the +1, generally due to red's lethargy here. He could get in here any time. Sort it out. Get some more grenade. Get another grenade launch. He's got Metis. He's got grenade launchers. He just needs to attack, and then he'd take it. But he's attacking here. Generally, attacking in 2 places at once is very difficult. So you know, I don't do that. And when I do, the both attacks go quite badly. So yeah, attack here, and then once that's sorted, send these in, or whatever. You can defend in it's much easier to defend in one place and attack in another. You can do that because defending's easy. You just sit there and people walk into you and you shoot them. Admittedly, an active defense beats a passive defense, but you get the general sentiment. So yeah, this composition's really weird. Like, where's the tank? Admittedly, tanks are expensive, right? But yeah, having some trouble dealing with one Warrior Milan because you don't have a tank. So yeah, he's relying mainly on the air power. His opponent is buying more AA, but he's not always keeping a fighter up. This might go down. And they've only got 10% ECM, but you know, there you go. 2 vet tracked rapier got him. But yeah, you want the FSB instead of the FSA. It's got more range, and the whole idea is you keep the fighter up before the bomber comes in. Admittedly, I assume everybody involved knows that, and he just made a mistake. That was a good bombing run, actually. We got a lot there. You got a lot there. But at least 4 units. So it doesn't show them all, so... But imagine if he had some frontline stuff, right? He wouldn't be losing the zone. Over here, blue is continuing to reinforce slowly, but his main thing seems to just be buying loads and loads and loads of planes, which is just not a good idea. You need ground forces. MiG-29 goes down. Yeah, you don't really want to be fighting over the enemy's AA net. You know, you can launch the missiles back here, and you can turn around. I know that's like sacrilege. Oh, I gotta get him, right? And they do turn like bricks. Dying to kill a plane, I guess, makes sense. A bomber makes sense, I guess. Like, that is the point. That is the purpose of the fight, is to kill the bomber. Unfortunately, this that's 3 per card, so... and he lost 2 fighters for 1 bomber, so that wasn't worth it. Over here, nothing continues to happen. You could just walk in, really. I mean, it's just, you hate to see it. But he is slowly moving a CV up to here. And he got the tank, now that everybody else is dead. He needs some more recon, really. And he lost the artillery, which is really, really bad news, because that, you know, you just hit all the AA pieces, because he's not moving them. You could hit the mortars as well, if you want. If they're smoking, you need to hit them. If he's not smoking, he's just firing HE, you can probably ignore it, but... So it's still a +1 to blue. And yeah, the Sitzkrieg continues. Admittedly, you know, 2Y gets stronger the further the game goes on, but the point is you have to use the tanks to trade, otherwise your opponent just puts more and more crap in the zone. And then eventually when you're like, okay, time to attack, because you get this thing at the lower levels where people are like, I'm building up for my attack. It's not how it works. If you buy a unit, you want that unit to be used as soon as possible, right? Let's say it's a Warrior Milan arm rifles, which we can currently see trundling on the top right of the screen. You send it forwards, you shoot summit, an ATGM flies into it, you smoke, you back, you repair it. You want your units to always be doing something, right? And that doesn't mean you need 10 million micro and you just move all these guys around constantly. This is currently doing something, it's holding ground. Admittedly, he should have a recon in here so he can see things, and then he should actually be using his artillery, but we're not getting a whole... he finally bought an OSA for over here. We're not getting a whole lot of action here. So, you know, don't be too afraid of ranked, right? There are games like this where nothing ever happens. Admittedly, something is happening. But that's how the meme works as well, so it's fine. Because I see a lot of people, they see my games where it's like I'm clicking 5,000 million times a second. I'm not really. I have an APM of about 20. I think it might be 30 on a good day. You don't need a high APM to play this game. And they're like, well, I could never do that. Well, you know, give it a try. At least try 10v10. 10v10 is full of people who I personally would barely classify as human, but I'm not allowed, unfortunately. All people are created equal under the eyes of God and so on. It's very sad, but you've got to live with that. So CV coming in, like instead of having it in the open where it can just get blown up by anything, you want to hide it in the forest, right? He's got it on auto cover, so it's just doing it itself. And that just saved it, because it might have died to this. And the other thing... oh yeah, there you go, he's not driving into the rocket barrage. That's good. So this might be the one from before, or he might have just bought another one. But yeah, when you look at things from a bird's eye view, you begin to understand just how much your planes cost you. Alright, this is 275 points. That could have been 6 more arm rifles with Warrior Milan. What would you rather have? Deal half damage to that T-72B1, or... sorry, 3 more Warrior Milan with arm rifles, which is a total of 6 units. Or would you rather have 3 more Warrior Milans, right? With 3 more infantry in here, and then you'd still be in here. That guy would have been zoned out by a bunch of ATGMs, and but yeah, the thing with the planes is the kind of the panic button mentality. So he's probably going to get that. Yeah, because it's got a... so if that had the 6Y one, which is a Soviet div, is actually an East German plane. If that had the East German plane, might not have killed that, because they're 4 250 kilo bombs instead of 4 500 kilo bombs. So the splash area isn't as big. So he might have made it. But yeah, 2Y, very popular div. Because it, you know, you don't really run out of stuff, and you're a late game beast, and it's a very good defense div as well, in that, like, so if the enemy's like running around the sides and stuff, you do struggle a bit, but you still got the BTRs with the metas. But yeah, in a kind of let's just sit here 40 minutes fight, the 2Y player is going to win. And so the onus is on Blue to be doing something a bit more substantial than he's doing. Right, where's the Fox round the side to come back here and snipe the Osa and the Bellasaur? Where's the smoke to keep the tanks zoned out so they can't just shoot you? But yeah, back to watching the front line. Truly inspirational. I mean, with 9 minutes left on a +1, I don't actually think he can win. I think he needs more. So what Blue could do here is smoke this with his 4 smoke mortars, and then he could drive in without getting shot in the face. These are terrible against infantry because they've only got 1 MG, as we've pointed out. Like, you just know what's going to happen. It rhymes with MiG-21 bluster. It's a metis, mate. It does 1 damage per shot. Oh. You hate to see it. What? I must be some kind of genius. They should give me the Nobel Prize in shitposting. And that's just how it goes. And the bomber, look how much AA he has. Doesn't matter. The bomber always gets through. So you got to have like a backup CV, right? Because that's the other thing these players who don't play very much do. Admittedly, he's got one here, but like, so the CV dies, and then they'll wait a couple minutes while the cogs turn, and then they'll be like, well, I need another CV, and they'll buy one more CV, and you'll watch it slowly trundle down here, and then the next MiG-21 bis will kill it, and then processing, dial-up internet sounds. I need another CV, and and then they just run out of time. But yeah, Blue, like he needs 80 gems in here and stuff. Sooner or later, this guy's just gonna Q move everything. It looks like it's happening. He's finally attacking. And yeah, he'll notice that, oh, there's just nobody here. And if he'd done it 20 minutes ago, he would have got in a lot easier. So it weren't even these SAS. So yeah, you gotta... It's just about practice. Like, it really is. It's not like people who are good at this game are just kind of born better than you, and, it's like, it's just such a nonsensical idea, right? Like, so there was that girl that won the Olympics recently that everybody's raving about. You know, the one who looks like a raccoon because of her hair? And people are like, wow, she's so talented. And her dad was on the TV. I saw this interview. And he was like, and they were like, how much training did you give her? And he said, oh yeah, it was either $500,000 or $1 million US, because he'd just been giving her like the best training in the world for years. for like upwards of a decade. It's like, wow, she's so talented. It's the exact same thing in Warno, mate. It's the same with everything, unless you've genuinely got some kind of learning difficulty. It's just about time invested and practicing intelligently, right? If you just like don't play to get better, if you don't practice intelligently, then you will learn very slowly, right? You don't learn from your mistakes because you just refuse to engage with it. So yeah, it's looking good for Red. He's done the epic Q move. The SAS are dead. There are ways you can buy time as Blue, right? You can smoke everything, right? Because there's only 5 minutes left. This game is very winnable for both sides. All he has to do is get these smoke mortars, smoke a big line there, buy a bunch of infantry, and get the Saxon in back here. And then the enemy is cautious to go through the smoke, and it costs them time. It costs them time. And that's what you need. You need to buy time, right? The Hell Arms are a good idea, but he should have had a bunch of Lynx rockets as well. But yeah, I don't know. People who use H, I want to see how many games this guy has. If he uses the mortars for HG, because I mean, it's one of those things that you would expect to work. Well, that's what it's for. It's a mortar. It's light fire support. No, that's not how it works in Warno, friendo. So this has top attack. Oh, well, I wanted to show you that. It one-shots 2 top armor. T-72s get 3 top armor, so it doesn't one-shot them. It should probably be 3 per card, it should not be 2 per card, so... So, yeah, it looks like Red's on a +3 now, and he can just walk in here as well, because it's like, where are all the units? I don't... He's literally just Q-moving into them, and he's just ran out of stuff. That's generally how it goes, right? When you play a heavy div versus a light div, and you don't feed as it gets later and later, you just get to sort of this critical mass. Admittedly, you could have done this attack in middle a long time ago, but... Yeah, and like, this is... So, at this point, you'd wish you didn't have this arty piece, right? And you had some more frontline units. It looks like Red's gonna do it. Just by nature of... not feeding, and then attack it at the end. So it looks like, all's well that ends well, right? Yeah, depending on who you're rooting for, I suppose. A lot of people really hate this kind of gameplay, but then a lot of people hate the light rush gameplay as well. It just depends what style you have. I try and maintain objectivity. Admittedly, I sympathise more with the second UK player, but... So this has smoke as well, right? But he's just completely collapsed. It's like he's not spending his points or something. Did he go at least for the CV? He did. There's a CV back here. Will he notice? Will he notice? He's not noticing. And I believe these were bought 10 seconds ago, so he's just spent his... Oh, he's noticing, he's noticing. That one's going for Fedor. Yeah, that's Fedor. So yeah, it looks like Red's going to win. Blue just kind of ran out of units or something. I mean, I don't understand... Like, where's his purchases? Is he just not spending his points? There's no way to check. So if you click on... it doesn't tell you how many, you know... Oh, these are just on auto fire. That's why they've been doing that. Okay. I mean, yeah, you can do that if you want. It's not going to do anything, but it's better than it not doing anything. Like, actually not doing anything. So, yeah, I mean, it's very Jova, right? Blue, he's just sort of given up or something. Just keeps buying planes. He had all his stuff at 2 there, so maybe he just ran out of units. I mean, that's entirely possible. So yeah, looks like Red sweeps the map. So there you go. Good game. So we got PiyRe here, ranked 485. We've got Pave, ranked 3,137. But PiyRe has 9 games. Pave has 32. 203, 483. Okay, so more non-ranked games, which I guess explains it. So yeah, if you're a newer player, don't play second UK. It requires action and smoke scum, basically. If you're a newer player, play second Panzergren. 2Y has the problem of being a little bit too slow at the start. 79Y, 6Y, second Panzergren, they don't have that problem, so I'd recommend those. Anyway, GG. I'll see you around.